Bread in art. Bread, a staple food in the Mediterranean diet, has taken on a significance over the centuries that goes beyond mere nutrition. In art, bread is often represented as a symbol of life, sharing, and spirituality. Story 2, The Supper in Emmaus, Gospel of Luke 24:13-35. Two disciples, Cleopas and another unnamed, are walking towards the village of Emmaus, discussing the recent events surrounding the death of Jesus. A wayfarer joins them and along the way explains the scriptures concerning the Messiah. Upon reaching their destination, the disciples invite the man to dine with them. It is at the moment when the wayfarer breaks the bread that their eyes are opened and they recognize in him the risen Christ, who immediately disappears from their sight. Story 3, the 1601 version, dynamic and theatrical. Four men sit around a table with food, gesturing and talking in a dramatic, dimly lit setting. In the 1601 version, Caravaggio depicts a dynamic and theatrical scene. The disciples react with astonishment. One rises abruptly from his chair while the other spreads his arms in a gesture that recalls the cross. Jesus is in the center at the moment of the blessing of the bread in a gesture reminiscent of the Eucharist. The intense light illuminates the characters, creating a strong contrast with the dark background, typical of Caravaggio's chiaroscuro. Realistic details can be seen on the laid table: a basket of fruit, a roast chicken, bread, and wine. The fruit in particular shows signs of ripening and decay, symbols of the transience of life and resurrection. Some scholars have noted that the shadow cast by the basket forms the figure of ichthys, the stylized fish symbol of the early Christians. Story 4, the 1606 version, intimate and reflective. The second version, painted in 1606, presents a more intimate and reflective atmosphere. The disciples' gestures are more restrained, and the scene is bathed in a more subdued light. The table is less richly laid with only bread and wine, emphasizing the essentiality of the Eucharistic gesture. This version probably reflects the difficult period experienced by Caravaggio, fleeing Rome after the murder of Ranuccio Tomassoni. Four people gather around a dimly lit table with bread, a cup, and two women standing in the background.